Hello, my name is Miss Nicole and I'm the Children's Librarian at the Harrison Crossing Library. Today we're going to explore chemical reactions through an experiment called Elephant Toothpaste. Now all of the ingredients for this experiment are probably household products you already have. All of the ingredients will be listed in the description box below, so go ahead and gather those up. Once you have everything gathered, let's take a look at the science behind this experiment. One of the elements that we're going to use today is water. The scientific name for water is H2O. The H stands for hydrogen and the O stands for oxygen. The 2 after the H means there are 2 pieces of hydrogen connected to every 1 piece of oxygen. Another thing we're going to use today is this. It's called hydrogen peroxide. It can be used as a disinfectant or a laundry bleach sometimes. Now this may look a little bit different than the hydrogen peroxide that you have at home. This is 6% lab grade hydrogen peroxide. The scientific name for hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. And that's because it has 2 atoms of hydrogen for every 2 atoms of oxygen. So today in our experiment, we're going to explore what happens when the extra oxygen is kicked out and creates a special kind of energy. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is add 1/2 cup of hydrogen peroxide to our bottle. I use a funnel to funnel it in. It makes it easier when you're pouring and creates less of a mess. Once you funnel in your hydrogen peroxide, we're going to add about 8 drops of food coloring. I used green because I'm almost out of it. I used exactly 8, and then I swish it around to make sure everything is well incorporated. Next, we're going to add about a tablespoon of dish soap. Now with this, you can either use the funnel or you can try to put it in by itself. And then swish it around for good measure to make sure everything is well incorporated. Now, next thing we're going to use, you use a lot for making bread, and this is called active dry yeast. Now, the yeast mixture that we're going to put into this bottle has to be warmed up. So I find it easiest to get a warm bowl of water and mix it in together that way. Now that we have our warm water, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of yeast. And when you do, you'll start to see the reaction right away. And what I want you to do is stir until it's dissolved. See all the bubbles coming up? And know the yeast is working. Now you're going to want to work fast. Once the yeast is dissolved, you're going to pour it into your bottle using your funnel, and then watch the reaction begin. Now that you've finished your experiment, let's take a look at the science behind it. When you added the yeast to the hydrogen peroxide, it created a foam. The bubbles in the foam are filled with oxygen. The yeast help remove the extra oxygen in the hydrogen peroxide, which is the H2O2. Since it happened very fast, it created lots of bubbles, which increased by adding the dish soap to make it more visible. The foam that was created was due to an exothermic reaction, which means it created heat in addition to the foam. Now, why don't you do some more experimenting on your own? Does the amount of yeast change? Is more foam created if you add more? Does it work to just add the dry yeast instead of mixing it with water? Does the size of a bottle make a difference in the amount of foam created? Experiment and let us know in the comments down below. I want to thank you so much for coming to our program, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.